Welcome to Woosh TV. In this video we are going to talk about the top 10 ancient ruins in the world. So before starting this video, like this video, and subscribe to Woosh TV YouTube channel for future updates. During our 18 years of travel, we've seen a lot of fascinating world ruins. These are our personal accounts of ancient cities, and ruins that we have personally visited and explored. As I go over everything there is to see, I realize we have only scratched the surface. We have yet to see Easter Island, and we may never see any of Afghanistan's or Iraq's big structures. In the meantime, take a look at our collection of ancient ruins from across the world. Number 10. Bagan, Myanmar. When we visited the Bagan temples in Myanmar, the days were hot. For one day, we rented a horse cart, and for the next, we rented a bicycle. One thing we recall is that our horse cart driver was about to give birth. It was a joyous occasion. We took a ferry from Mandalay to the ruins on the Irrawaddy River, which is located in Myanmar, Burma. This Buddhist structure, which spans 16 square miles, was erected in 1057. In most of Burma, time seems to stand still, and this impression is amplified in Bagan. Farmers push their ox carts along the street, few locals pray at the temples, and monks search the streets for alms in the morning. The highlight, like with most other ruins, is climbing to the top of the highest temple, Nze and Patto, for a panoramic view of the complex. Ananda Patto, however, is one of the most remarkable temples. 4 massive Buddhas and 2 precious Buddha imprints can be found inside. I became a believer after visiting Bagan. It's a spiritual site that instills a sense of tranquility and peace in the viewer. Number 9. Angkor Wat, Cambodia. It is the mother of all the world's ruins. Lara Croft's Tomb Raider exposed the world to Angkor Wat. Tourists are flocking to this old Khmer temple these days. Taking a tuk-tuk to remote sections of the complex may still beat out tour buses when we were there. This magnificent complex, which spans 500 acres in Cambodia, is made up of hundreds of temples. The Angkor Wat main temple is well preserved and a stunning sight. From its 1.6 kilometers, 1 mile, long base, its 5 major towers rise into the air as high as 66 meters, 215 feet. You can see the entire land and complex from Bakung Hill at sunset. See our Angkor Wat Visitor's Guide for more information. When you were fighting for a spot, and attempting to view over the heads of hundreds of other tourists, it wasn't quite as wonderful. It is, nonetheless, well worth a visit. Number 8. Sigiriya, Sri Lanka. We visited Sri Lanka 4 times before visiting its most famous destination. Sigiriya is a spectacular location, with ruins winding up to, and atop a massive rock in the middle of the jungle. Number 7. Sri Lanka Sigiriya from Pijirangala. The foundations of this historic rock stronghold date back to 475 BC. That's stunning enough, but it's the 600-meter tall, 660-foot tall, natural stone column it stands atop that actually stands out. We trekked up Pijirangala to see it at sunset after climbing it and taking a scenic fly above it. We may have taken years to see it, but once we did, we saw everything. Number 6. Palanaruwa, Sri Lanka. The historic city of Palanaruwa, which dates back to 1070, is Sri Lanka's second oldest monarchy. It is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and people still live in the area. It's in excellent condition, with numerous monuments still standing. It's not as vast as some of the other Asian ruins we visited, but it's still a wonderful journey through time. Number 5. Anuradhapura, Sri Lanka. What I enjoy most about visiting Sri Lanka is seeing how modern civilization coexists with the country's historical past. Anuradhapura is not just the capital of the north-central province, but also of Sri Lanka's oldest cities. Its remains are well preserved, and provide an excellent opportunity to learn about ancient Sri Lankan culture. Number 4. China's Great Wall. We didn't expect the Great Wall to amaze us. In fact, we went to the site expecting to be disappointed. I'm delighted we gave ourselves permission to modify our opinions. The Great Wall was one of the most impressive world ruins we've ever seen. The Mu Tianyu Great Wall part is almost abandoned, and you can walk along the 2.5 kilometers section, while taking in the scenery and imagining the great wars fought between the Chinese Empire and the mighty Mongols. On another trip, we went to the Badaling Great Wall, which is closer to Beijing. It's busier, but no less stunning. Number 3. Terracotta Warriors. The Terracotta Warriors are a 2,200-year-old army that was never discovered. Emperor Qin commissioned slaves and artisans to create a memorial to him, which would be buried with him on the day he died. Everyone who worked on the warriors, or knew anything about them, was slain or forced to commit suicide. The warriors were not discovered until 1974 by a local farmer due to their concealment. It's an intriguing sight, and seeing the 8,000 warriors lined up in rows is rather impressive. Number 2. Xian, China. It's not difficult to find an ancient city everywhere you go in China. The majority appear to be centuries old. Xian is the country's oldest metropolis, with a history dating back 3,000 years. The Xian city wall is the country's best preserved wall, and you can ride your bike or walk the entire 13.7 kilometers, 8.5 mile, length. Number 1. Ayutthaya, Thailand. On our first trip to Thailand in 2000, we went to Ayutthaya. Isn't it amazing to think that was 20 years ago? But, on the other hand, can you imagine that Ayutthaya, Thailand's historic capital, was founded in 1350? The Burmese demolished it in the 18th century, and it is, now, an archaeological ruin that may be visited on a day trip from Bangkok. I honestly don't recall much about my vacation to Ayutthaya, but like most first-time visitors to Thailand, it was at the top of our agenda. Here are a few more examples. Jordan's Petra. It was a dream come true to be able to see Petra. We'd heard about this old city but never imagined we'd be able to visit it. Having a Jordan tourism board guide and a Petra official accompany us on our tour of the ruins allowed us to see a side of Petra that few others do. It is without a doubt one of our favorite world ruins. Jordan's Jerash. The Middle East is home to some of the best preserved Roman ruins on the planet. Nothing better demonstrates how far Rome's hand reached than the spectacular Jerash ruins. Who knew Jordan, a small country in the Middle East, has some of the world's most important and spectacular Roman ruins? Cappadocia is a region in Turkey. Cappadocia is a must-see for anybody visiting Turkey. These excellent Turkish ancient ruins are nestled in the most gorgeous and unusual terrain you will ever see. The topography has been sculpted with caves and chapels, as well as full underground cities to explore. A hot air balloon flight above the scenery is a must-do. It is the most important thing to do in Cappadocia to truly appreciate the scenery. Marrakesh's Sardian tombs. It wasn't until 1917 that the Sardian tombs of Marrakesh were found. Their mosaics are well known for being well preserved. The mausoleum, which dates from 1557, is home to Sultan Ahmed al-Mansur ed Darby and his family. It is next to the Casbah Mosque, which dates from 1100. What do you think about this video? Do let us know down in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video and want to hear from us again, be sure to hit that subscribe button before you go.